Welcome back, MTG Joe here. Today we're me playing some historic best of three. Largely this month I haven't really found a deck I've liked to ladder up with. I shared my mono red alchemy list that was doing really well, and a lot of people picked it up, and it's made it a lot harder to kind of climb with it now. I'm just playing a lot of mirrors, and then historic and explorer. I just best of one this month hasn't been too kind to me. Usually like the format, but not working for me this month. So we're gonna try out some historic best of three. This is a mono green devotion list, similar to what we see in the Explorer format with Nykthos Shrine to Nyx, Kiora, but we're playing the card that's banned in Pioneer, Leyline of Abundance. So this is an enchantment that if you have in your opening hand, you get to play it for free, turn 0. It goes onto the board, adds 2 pips of devotion, and then whenever a creature you control taps mana, you get to add an additional mana, and it's a mana sink where you can pay 8 mana and put a counter on each of your creatures. So this list here, the main board at least, comes from a player named Ryu, got number 36 Mythic earlier in the month, or last month. They got a high finish with Mythic. So what we're doing is we're playing the full package of the Llanowar Elves. We're also playing Paradise Druid, which can tap as well as make black mana for our Cauldron and the sideboard combo kill. The Paradise Druid is hexproof the turn, so just lots of ways to kind of gain mana. You have Abundant Harvest, which is trying to act as like Oath of Nisa to help dig, but same idea. Karn package, generate a lot of mana, tap on tap, do broken things. The Karn package, I switched up their sideboard a bit, and what I did was, if you want to play this in best of one, this is the portion of the sideboard that you should be playing in best of one. There's some considerations for some of the other cards. The main difference, I cut a couple cards that they had in, because the thing is, you're never going to always there's pretty much like a handful of cards you're going to get each time. Like against aggro, you're going to get your Warm Coil Engine, which isn't an Explorer, but it's in Historic. Against some creature decks, at times you might need Sky Sovereign. You're going to get the Graveyard Hate. You're going to get the Artifact Enchantment Hate in a pinch. The Combo Hate. The tax effects on the blue-eye control players. Against some decks like Squirrel Twin, sometimes even Wizards, you can kind of get them if it's late game, or this can buy you some time with Platinum Angel as a win condition. The only other card, like Platinum Angel, might be better served as Portal to Phyrexia or Cityscape Leveler instead. There is a Liquid Metal Coating, which with Karn's ability, you can start targeting your opponent's lands, because this makes the land an artifact. Karn's plus, because it has 0 converted mana cost, the land dies. I don't know how often we're actually going to be doing this, but it's something available to us. We have Pithing Needle for like Teferis and stuff. Cauldron can be fetched for Restorative Burst. If you have 15 mana, I think it is, with a Kiora and a Karn in your graveyard, Kiora and Karn in your graveyard on the battlefield, you can basically just loop these cards because the Karn fetches the Cauldron from exile. You cast Restorative Burst. You can gain infinite life by cycling those Planeswalkers. And then you cast the Cauldron, and then you mill out your opponent in one shot. Chariot for kind of fair, go wide. And then I just added the Gargaroth. I was concerned a little with aggro. I think our control matchup's pretty bad regardless because of Farewell. Some of them are also on Divine Purge, which hurts. So I think that's going to be a bad matchup regardless. So even bringing in Questing Beast. The thing is, at one point, Ceratops was really good, but they have so much white-based removal now that it doesn't make a difference. So we'll try out with that. So I'm kind of hedging. I think my control matchup's bad enough that I'm not going to have... Like, let's hedge our aggressive matchups is basically my thought there. I think I'm, like, towards the bottom of Diamond. So let's give this a shot, see how it plays out. I'm hoping to not just run into Teferi decks. I don't have fun playing against those, so... Hopefully not the case, but we'll give this a shot. I was doing the meta updates. There hasn't been much in terms of deck lists, to be honest, for the last couple of weeks from Untapped data. Not a lot of people are playing Historic Best of 3, it seems, or at least enough of a representative deck to get a sample. Like, only Wizards was showing up, red-blue Wizards, which had like a 71% win rate in Best of 3. There's the blue-eye control decks that are very popular. There's the various Trap Finder combo decks, and then there's always kind of fan favorites that you get in here. Your sack decks, the Rakdos mid-range deck should be fairly popular as well, and if it's anything like the Explorer format, this green-based deck has a good matchup into Rakdos. So even here, we're getting down-paired, so kind of seeing the effects. So we obviously want hands with Leyline to start. No Leyline. We have mono red player. I think we keep. We still have double elf. But hopefully no removal. This could be Rakdos. If I could get Kiora down, I'm happy. Yep, so it's Rakdos mid. I mean, if I just keep hitting my line drops, we're going to have redundancy at a certain point because we have Cavalier that could get stuff back from the graveyard. I think I'm going to go Kiora here because Kiora lets me Cavalier.
Sun in the sky, brine on my skin. Great day to fight. You're making me.
So here, they probably take the Cavalier of Thorns. Take the Old Growth Troll. Interesting. So we Cavalier here. We're looking for Nykthos. No Nykthos. So we have access to Storm the Festival for next turn. Cavalier can get another Cavalier back.
This is my home, and I don't appreciate
I think here... I like just looping the Cavaliers here. They'll take out my Kiora. I'll Storm the Festival. Can I cast both? So one, two, three. No, I'm one short. So let's just Storm the Festival here. Yikes. It's not what we wanted to see. So pretty bad flips so far. We're in a pretty bad spot if they have another discard effect. They don't. So let's start here. We get Nykthos, we can kind of go off. So we're gonna decline here. Because I want to maximize my chance. Jeez, we can't find lines this game. That's 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm gonna take a chance. They could have another removal spell if they do, but I want to keep it off its sacrifice ability. They're gonna plus here. 25 cards, no Nykthos. They've had like the only two answers to deal with that. Problem is here, we're at 8 lands. So we need lands and spells. Like another Cavalier would be good, Nykthos would be good.
Don't overthink things.
So I'm just gonna attack into Lily here. They have to decide what they want to do. We're gonna keep Liliana around. I think that's fine. What a top deck. Okay, so I need a land here. Because the problem is I don't even have enough with like boat to be able to target the trespasser.
I'm tired of your
Untap land. You would have been great last turn. So I'm taking Lily off so they don't have a clean answer. They're going to get rid of the Storm the Festival, which kind of sucks, but I'm waiting for this to be Molten Impact off the top. The opponent's also seen 4 lands. Now we've ramped a little, but we've only put 2 extra lands into play. The rest we've seen. Problem is now these flip. These start eating at my graveyard. They get 3 copies. Need a Karn. Interesting decision there. I think we do this. They just had it all. I mean, opponent's top decks were insane. In this matchup, I think I'm just gonna trim on a couple of copies of Paradise Druid and then just bring in, or maybe I like Chariot in this matchup. Probably also just want the Wormcoil main. They're gonna have like so much cheap interaction. That's just kind of silly. 4 lands, perfect draw each time. We had 2 Storm the Festivals give us nothing but lands. This is a game like very similar to the Blue Devotion list we played in Explorer. When you have the Leyline in your opener, it's a lot better when you don't. But the lilies, the multiple removal spells all kind of did us in. The opponent did wisely though, with the Cavalier on the stack, kill it, because that way we don't get the choice of the card. Don't like mulliganing against this deck, but we have no choice. So I'm going to put Cavalier away, we'll keep Leyline. No Fatal Push one time? No Fatal Push one time? Sick. Okay. Not a bad turn too. Okay, so I can do this, find another land. Draw a card, and then next turn I could kind of pop off. So here, do this, draw a card, and go off. All right. Still think I want those. Probably just Abundant Harvest, to be honest. I just want to maximize my dorks. Probably Wormcoil. Cavalier does more. Leyline, Elf. This elf's most likely not living. Thought sees me, bro. Take my elf. Little bit of the problem. Maybe was right keeping that other hand, but like we had 3 Nykthos. If it was just lands, I might have kept it. Can I get just a card to play here? It's flips. I think we just get Karn Boat here. Chariot's actually pretty good. Chariot buys me a turn here, so they could have a removal spell. But I think we still activate the Chariot. Maybe we don't. We just throw a... So if they're doing that, now we are going to do it. Wow. Like, this is what I mean sometimes. Angrath's Rampage with the Molten Impact before. They have exactly the 2-card answer for Chariot. Chariot's a really good card in this matchup because it gives you multiple bodies. Meanwhile, we can't get anything. I could take them off the treasure. I think we're just doing that. I took out the land in the sideboard because I didn't think we'd tutor it that often. This is just very silly circumstance, I think, all things considered. So I can go boat. What do I have in the sideboard?
My grief fuels my mission.
We're dead to like any removal spell here, but this is how Magic's been going for me lately, and it's really frustrating. Like that game 1, they rip it. This game, they rip it. I'm assuming this is a removal spell. We're running a lot of graveyard hate. They have lethal here if they exile their own Kroxa. They also have lethal just with any removal spell on the Might. Okay, so they missed it. Doesn't even matter. God damn. I don't know. Magic goes, like, the decathlon events have been fun, but when you're getting just screwed like this is the reason that I'm not playing Nisa in these decks. Because you end up getting hit too hard by all the targeted removal. Between the sweepers and just targeted, you can't expose your lands to that. Like, the line of Chariot was correct. The line... Like, ultimately, I think this Leyline version's a little too weak. We end up playing... Like, this is another Rakdos match where our dorks don't stick. There's too much removal in this format to be reliant solely on one creature. This is goblins. Where they have, again, their... Goblins plays one creature that's like actual removal. And they have it in their opener against us. This matchup's probably quite bad. Mind you... no, with the Fable, so this is the fair version that drains us out. It's Distraction Kiora. Holy shit, man, we can't get anything today. Blow up your thing.
I ebb and flow with battle.
So they don't even need to attack here, they can attack me.
Time to ebb from battle.
Can't even play the troll because of how our mana is. And then I drew my 1 layer late, so that also doesn't do anything. And now I'm dead. Dumbass game. So this matchup, I'm gonna bring in the Gargs. I'm gonna get rid of the Abundant Harvest. Run it back. So they likely... Thing is now they'll have like a braids and stuff. Put Karn away. What are spells? Thoughtseize. There's not enough lines in this deck. I think cutting a Leyline for another land is correct. Because the thing is, you want one. More than one, you start running into some issues. We've had multiple games now where we just haven't been able to find lines. Like, what the fuck is that? I'm gonna switch this up a bit. This is just frustrating. Like, you're too susceptible. Gonna get rid of the coding. Play Citadel. Or you know what? We'll play the Leyline. I'm gonna get rid of an Abundant Harvest. I'm gonna get rid of both and play... Or you know what? Let's play 2 Wolf Willows and we'll trim that land and just hedge like that. The problem is we're not getting to our top end, and that's where kind of the constraint is coming in. Like, we saw what we can do, but this is a very heavy Fatal Push format. There's a lot of ways to deal incidental damage. The problem too with this, like, I don't even say it's a problem, it's just this type of gameplay. It's very autonomous. Like, you either have all your mana and you just like all these games have either been I've won overwhelmingly or I've lost, like, and the deck looks terrible. Like there's no back and forth element to it. Try this. Druid at least gives me 1 in tap. It's just everyone on Rakdos. Gobos. So, my deck has allowed me to draw more Karn the Great Creators. Than actual lands. Don't know how you do that attack, but sure. So I can Karn here. I think we're just doing this, finding a land. Playing out Elf, and then next turn I kind of go off. I have 8 mana next turn. I could Storm to hopefully find. I can also just set up to get Portal Phyrexia, to get Wormcoil Engine. So 1, 2, 8, 9, 10 mana. So 4, 6. So I have that with Wormcoil. I can get Boat and start picking off stuff. So this deals damage to target. So they can take off my Elf. It's fine. We're gonna get Boat now, I think. Especially with Muxus off the top. Actually, Boat doesn't do it. I could Wormcoil. I can do this. 1. I think we're just Storming. I'm gonna take the land here. I have 2 mana this turn. I think we get Wormcoil first or Boat? Probably Wormcoil. I'll get Portal to Phyrexia next turn. The thing is, they might try to do poor attacks in to deal with the Karn. And then meanwhile we have multiple Karns in hand. Ah, that's annoying. Can they just kill me from here? Okay, so we definitely need Boat. This takes off the Lord effect, so that'll kill the Ruvenalt as well. I'm gonna put Storm the Festival on top. Just get a cheap rebuy of it. So I can portal to New Phyrexia, so 5, yeah. Just kind of win from here. Okay, this matchup I want the Gargaroths in. And I probably want the Chariot. I can probably trim on a Leyline here. Just probably on the Paradise Druids. Wormcoil will be fetched. Gargs is the top end. Hopefully they don't have a kill spell. Go Kiora into another Line of War here. I don't have payoff is the problem. Oh, there's Nykthos. But I don't have anything like big to kind of follow it up to.
Dragons. Just can't help myself.
That's the only problem. I don't have a Cavalier, I don't have a Karn. I may block the Lord if they offer it to me. Well, there's Storm. You have a removal spell?
One drop ripples and grows.
Well, that's like the best possible. Draw 2, kind of go off from there. Cavalier into Cavalier. Gargaroth is good against the Muxus flip here if they have it. Gains me some life. I got some good blockers. I have Storm in the yard. So they need a really high roll Muxus here. It's fine. It's not great. They can take Kiora off the battlefield. That's wrong. So they could like sack 2 to try to attack in my Kiora. They're just going face. Draw a card. Guess I technically should have gained 3 there. Was the safer line, but at this point we just smack them for a zillion. Gain a bunch of life, kind of go from there. Alright, so that kind of wraps it up for Mono Green Devotion. I think going with this later version's a little safer. You're too susceptible with your dorks in this format. And like, I don't know, the Rakdos matchup, when you have stuff like Molten Impact, it does a lot better because that's a card that they don't have in Explore. Kind of did us in that game, but they also just ran extremely hot. And then that, even that Goblins deck kind of sequenced perfectly the second game. But lots of Rakdos in Historic if you're looking to jam that. But let me know what you think in the comments. Catch you next time. Thanks for watching.